I appreciated seeing each one of your facilities, very well run, well maintained, and impressive when I was there visiting with some of my other folks from Energy Power Partners. And we're excited about this opportunity of having you folks on board with the EPP team. So this is just an introductory call so you can just get to know us a little bit better. And as we go through the process here, we do have a way at the end here. We've set up a kind of a questions and answers mailbox. Send us some questions if you think of things that you hear during this presentation that you have questions about or want to follow up on. Feel free to do that. I will mention up front here too, Rick Covell is also joining us on this call, representing from the ARIA side, and anything that you wanted to ask him back about, he could always go directly back to us too. But we appreciate him being part of this process, and we just want to try to keep this as smooth and seamless as possible. Myself, again, just a little background of who we are. We're just going to go through that in this presentation, and I'll give you a little bit more background of each one of us. But on the call here is Janet Sanchez. She's also Energy Power Partners. She's with our Human Resources Employee Benefits, and we'll be talking to you a little bit about that. And then Tom Judge is our Senior Vice President of Operations, and he'll be sharing a little bit more about our ways and process and procedures and how we operate as a company. And I'd like to introduce first, though, Jerry Peters. He's a founding partner of Energy Power Partners. He could share a little bit about the founding of the company and a little bit about his vision. So, Jerry, feel free to pick it up.
Thank you, Steve.
Sure.
To give you a little idea of my background, I have been involved in the landfill gas to energy business, made my first investment in that space in 1993. I'm well aware of LES. I respect the company. You guys have been around a long time. We competed in many cases in the past in developing projects. My partner, Henry Park, and I started this operation in 2009 with the vision to be one of the largest renewable energy / distributed generation company in the country, with a specialization in landfill gas. We currently have 32 projects in our portfolio. More than half of them are landfill gas projects, and all but 3 projects have been self-developed. So we are very excited about the opportunity to bring the LES PH assets on board. We think that your operation and ours are very similar. We think that we complement each other in certain areas, and we think that as a combined team, that we can be much stronger in this space, and we can find opportunities and develop opportunities that will contribute to our growth. So I'll leave it up to the other people to give more detail on EPP, but I will say we are really excited about the opportunity of bringing you all on and the assets into our portfolio.
All right. Thanks, Jerry. Just a little bit background on myself, and I've actually known Jerry for quite some time. I was with Pennsylvania Power and Light Company for 25 years, and 6 years ago actually now, PPL in Pennsylvania decided it wanted to sell the renewable energy business, and Energy Power Partners, Jerry and the team that he was with, is with now, decided to buy our group. And it's very similar to what we're talking to you about today. So we understand some of the transitional issues and the questions and the uncertainty that kind of surrounds this whole process here. And just want to comfort you that I was with PPL for many years, great company to work for. I enjoy working for Energy Power Partners even more. It's been a good company, pretty much very family-oriented and very much focused on just renewable energy. And I've enjoyed my stay here, and I hope the same for you as we go through this process. So hopefully, again, today we just give you a little bit more of a background of who we are and what we do. And I'm going to try to share this PowerPoint, so if you're able to see it, I'll bring it up here. If you're not able to see it, we'll talk through it. So if somebody could just let me know you can see it, and then I'll start going from there. See that okay?
I see it.
Thanks, Jim. All right, so Energy Power Partners, a little background of who we are. So Energy Power Partners, again, as Jerry said, was founded in 2009. And our whole, the company is basically focused on renewable energy, sustainable type projects. And we're focused in North America, mainly the United States and Canada. Today you can see the projects, a lot of them focused in the Northeast, and then the mid part of the country, and then down in Texas. And we currently have 32 projects that are solar, landfill gas, digester gas, cogeneration projects, and microgrids included in that, located throughout the U.S. And if you look at this map, in the Northeast was the old PPL assets, very Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Maryland centric. And then in the middle part of the country, there are assets there. And most of the ones that, half the projects are landfill gas to electricity projects with Caterpillar engines, very similar to what you're doing today. In the mid part of the country, we have projects that take the landfill gas and convert it to medium BTU gas through a pipeline to boilers at General Motors and NASA and other customers. And then Texas is our largest renewable gas project. Landfill, McComas Bluff, and that landfill gas is converted to renewable natural gas and sold through pipeline to the vehicle market. So very similar to what you also do with another part of your company today. And a little difference between us and what you do today is some of our projects are connected directly to utilities, but about half of them are connected directly to customers too. So if you look on the left here in this screen, some of our existing customers like Suez Water, wind, or landfill gas. We have customers that have entered into long-term contracts with us, and they are very good at not only to customers today, but also good at finding us other opportunities. Like a good example is Crayola is owned by the Hall family, the Hallmark card people, and through their relationships, they bring us into other opportunities that they have across the country, not just at the Crayola crayon factory, which is located in Pennsylvania. So one thing with renewable energy, as you probably know, is it's not a fad by any means. It's definitely mainstream and growing, and we're excited to be part of that. I think together we're going to be both excited to be part of this fast-growing sector. So another part is we have various technologies. The bottom left corner is our landfill gas to electricity facility in central and northern Pennsylvania. It's 4 Cat 3520s, 6.4 megawatts, and that facility there supplies the Federal Bureau of Prisons, the large prison that's next door. But next to that, on the same building, is our overhaul facility. So we have a facility just similar to you have, that we take our engines to every 6 years and do major overhauls when we have to take them off site. In the top right corner is where our Turkey Hill wind turbines are, 2 wind turbines that actually feed into the ice cream factory. And then in the middle is the Crayola solar project that feeds solar power to Crayola. And the bottom right is the city of Dallas with our McComas Bluff renewable natural gas plant. So various technologies that we have, and a lot of these are married up, like the wind turbine project is actually married up with the landfill gas project, which is where we started, and the Crayola project and the Lycoming projects we're looking at. There's expansions we've done at those also too. So a lot of our customers that are landfill gas have led to other opportunities with other technologies, even on the same location. A little background of us, and I'll let Tom pick up about our people.
Hey, thank you, Steve. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to meet you, at least by Zoom initially. Looking forward to meeting all of you in person here eventually as soon as time allows. I did want to take a little time here this afternoon to explain a little bit about how we're structured and how we operate here at EPP Service Company. We're actually very similar in structure to the way that LES operates. If you put the two organizations side by side, we do a lot of the same things, we operate a lot of the same kind of equipment, and we've got people in the same kinds of positions doing the same kind of jobs. So from that perspective, we look at this this merger and we see it as a very beneficial for both, I believe. We believe over the years that we've developed a lot of tricks of the trade, I'll call them, a lot of processes and procedures and so on that we have found to be very beneficial to our business, and we're confident that you have done the same. And so we're excited about the opportunity to get together and share best practices with one another. As Jerry said, I think we can be stronger together than either party could be individually. So we're excited about that opportunity. I want to take a little bit of time to share with you again the structure of our organization, but I thought it'd be helpful to start out with really how we began as an operations organization. And we'll begin with my background. Prior to my entering full-time into the renewable energy business, I worked for about 20 years in the Caterpillar dealer network. Many of those years were in engines and power systems, and that's where I got involved with electric power generation. And toward the end of my career there at the Cat dealer, one of my primary roles was to commission larger projects, and take care of here. Those are the kinds of projects that I would commission. And my first opportunity to do that with Steve was when he was at PPL in 2004. PPL built a project down in Camden County, New Jersey, a 3-engine landfill gas to electricity site with 3 Caterpillar 3516s, which you're all familiar with. And I commissioned that site and had the opportunity to meet Steve, get to know him a little better. Learned quite a lot about PPL renewable energy, and really saw an opportunity there for me personally to get involved and to help them build and develop an operations team that would be able to perform self-operations and maintenance of all the projects, allowing them to control costs, scheduling of work, quality, things of those natures. And so I joined PPL Renewable Energy in 2005, the following year after the first project was built. And from that point really began to build the operations organization as we added more engine plants. And initially, the focus was on the landfill gas engine projects, but we also did some natural gas distributed generation projects as well, but most all engine-based. So really had the opportunity as we added a few of those projects, we grew to the size that we could begin hiring our own personnel. And so we began doing that, and as we've added more and more projects, we've added more and more people as we've grown. And in 2015, PPL Renewable Energy was placed up for sale by PPL Corporation, and we were picked up, as Steve mentioned earlier, by Energy Power Partners. I had worked at PPL for 10 years. I had the same experience that Steve did, really enjoyed it there. It was a great company to work for, really one of the premier employers in Pennsylvania, and so we felt very fortunate to have worked in that organization. But when we came to EPP, we found an environment that was a little more open, I'll say a little more friendly. It didn't have quite the strict utility mentality. So we really think as we've built our organization here that we've brought with us some of those good things, the attention to detail and the processes and so on that utility companies are kind of famous for. But then we've come into EPP, which is a little more of an open and relaxed atmosphere where everybody can contribute, everyone's opinions are valued and heard and contribute to our success. So I, like Steve, have found the last 5 or 6 years here to be very satisfying and very happy with the transition. And we hope certainly that you'll all have that same experience. And we here at EPP are going to work towards making that happen. So I want to take you through a little bit about our organization then and the way that we're structured in operations. Obviously, we have our plants with personnel based at the plants that are responsible for the day-to-day operation and activities that take place on the site. As you all know, there's a lot of maintenance associated with these engines. So our plant operators take care of all of that maintenance. We do that all in-house, the routine maintenance, routine repairs, diagnostics and troubleshooting are all taken care of by our plant-based personnel. And then there's also a lot of other what we call administrative responsibilities at the projects as well. So of course we have air permits, so there are compliance responsibilities and obligations that we have. And some of those items involve work to be done on site, and our plant operators have responsibility for that. We also have major maintenance that needs to be done occasionally. As you're familiar with, things like top-end overhauls, turbocharger replacements, in-frame overhauls. All of those kinds of things are performed, at least in part, by our on-site operations personnel. Also responsible for things like housekeeping and safety, and any of the administrative things like taking care of inventory, making sure we have supplies and materials and parts and things of that nature. And then also working with our landfill clients and hosts to make sure that we've got a good relationship with the people on the ground there, and that we're doing everything we can to work cooperatively with them so that both our goals and their concerns are met. Things like odor control, gas quality, gas volumes, things of that nature. So a lot of collaboration there between our people that are based in the plants and the folks that work at the landfill as well. When they participate in major maintenance, as you know, a lot of these jobs require more than one or two people when you get into a top end or an in-frame. We'll have people from neighboring plants visit other plants to help participate. So we may have 4 people work on a top end or 5 people work on an in-frame, and we'll borrow some people from one of the other projects to help wherever the work is being done. And we like that because we think it helps build a cooperative atmosphere and build teamwork and familiarization with each other's plants, because occasionally we also have people cover and that. So we really are plant-based personnel in the field. The next people in the organization I would like to share with you are our O&M supervisors, operations and maintenance supervisors. I refer to these people as working foremen, and most of these people have come up through the plant operation ranks and have moved into this position where they now have responsibility for certain projects. So each of our O&M supervisors are assigned a certain number of projects that they have primary responsibility for, and they supervise the plant operators at that site. So the plant operators report to their O&M supervisors, but then the O&M supervisors also oversee the project and make sure that the day-to-day work is being done, that safety is being observed, compliance is being observed, and all of those items are being done properly. I refer to these guys as working foremen, meaning that while they have supervisory responsibilities, the expectation is also that they will work hand in hand with the people based at the plants. So, for example, when there's top-end overhaul to be done, our O&M supervisors will schedule that work. They'll see to it that all of the parts and components we need for the work are on hand, any special equipment we need is there, and then they will also participate. So they will be there involved in the actual hands-on completion and execution of that work. That's a really important part of their job. They also play a significant role in our stack testing program. So anytime we have stack testing scheduled anywhere, our O&M supervisors will be there just to help support operations and make any adjustments or changes that need to be made to ensure that we're going to be in compliance during the tests. While they have certain plants assigned to them, we do in our existing organization have a lot of cross-pollination, we call it. So these guys will help one another. And it's not unusual for us to have 2 or maybe even 3 O&M supervisors working at one site when there's a major project going on. That's not unusual at all. So there's a lot of familiarity between all of our people working very well together. So the next person that I'd like to talk about are the asset managers that work in our organization. While the O&M supervisors and the plant operations personnel are taking care of things on the ground at the individual sites, we have asset managers that we refer to as basically project executives. So they're looking at the plant and the project at a little higher level, and so they're working on things like the budget, tracking our performance and our finances to make sure that we're meeting our goals and objectives, and working with our landfill hosts. I mentioned earlier that plant personnel will work with the landfill personnel on the ground. Most landfills have executive directors or operations managers or senior engineers and so on. We typically will have our asset managers interacting with them on a regular basis just to make sure that that relationship is going smoothly and that expectations on both sides of that agreement are being met consistently. They're also there to support us, and really any of the positions that you'll hear me talk about, you'll hear the word support quite often. While there may be supervision involved and things like that, really we view it as support. We're all here to support the operation of the projects in any way that we can. And so the asset managers support the operations staff in helping them with contracts with vendors and getting the resources that they need in the budget and things like that. And a lot of times the asset managers will also have other separate responsibilities that they contribute in a significant way. For example, safety is a huge consideration here at EPP, as I'm sure it is with LES as well. And we have one of our asset managers that serves as our safety director. So he leads our weekly safety discussions, keeps track of our OSHA records, makes sure that we're in compliance, makes sure that our PPE is up to date and we have the proper PPE and things of that nature. So our asset managers can contribute in other ways apart from just simply being responsible for the projects at a high level. So that's really our organization out in the field. There's some other personnel that we have that are very important roles in our back office. Certainly we need to address things like accounts payable, accounts receivable, human resources, finance, taxes, engineering and development, all those types of things. And we have an office staff that works very closely with our people in the field to make sure that everyone has what they need to do the job. If you do have access to our slide here, you can see there's a photo here of a number of our people up in the upper left-hand corner, and that photo was taken at one of our safety conferences that we had a few years ago. We get together to take care of all of the annual safety requirements that we have as far as training and fall arrest protection inspections and things like that. We would typically get together and do that. So that's a little snapshot of many of the members of our team. Not everyone, certainly, but a number of them. And then in the lower right corner, you can see one of our engines that's in the process of overhaul in our rebuild shop. Importantly on this slide here, you'll see some bullet points in the lower left-hand corner that detail the goals that we all share here. Our incentive program that you'll hear about here in a little bit is based on the performance versus the goals that we have set for ourselves at the beginning of the year. And those goals are the same for everyone in the organization. So my goals are the same as Janet's, and they're the same as Steve's, and they're the same as everyone's. So that's really done that way to really drive a cooperative effort on the part of everyone. But our common goals that we share all the time and everything that we do are laid out here on this slide. The first is that we want to provide industry-leading returns for our investors. The business of EPP is to go out and seek investors that are interested in investing in renewable energy and sustainable energy projects. And so obviously these investors are interested in that business, but they also are seeking return on their investment. And so we feel it's very important that we deliver on the investors' expectations. Doing so enables us to have a good reputation, a good record, and it helps us have access to more capital in the future, which can then help us to grow the business even more and provide more opportunity for all of us. So we really view that as a long-term goal that we try to achieve every day because it has long-term ramifications to our success. And so it's really important that we have a keen eye on that as a goal. Our next goal here on the list is sustainable, reliable, renewable energy provided to our communities. We are in the renewable energy business, and we do view renewable energy as an important and growing sector in our energy portfolio in this country. And we do view it as an important part of that package. And so we're very proud to be a part of that. And we see it as a growing business. I think the need and the desire for it is only going to continue to grow. And we believe that provides good opportunity for us and that we're poised in a very good position to be able to be a market leader in the industry. And so that's something we take very seriously as well. The next is to provide challenging and rewarding careers for our employees. The employees in our company are critical to our success. One of the things that I like to say is that if you have $1 million, you can walk into any cat dealer anywhere in the country and they'll sell you a 3520 landfill gas engine. So there's nothing special about owning a 3520 or a 3516. Anyone can buy one if they have the resources to do so. And many of our competitors have many of them, just like we do. Those of you that are in this industry and have been in this industry a while know that Caterpillar has the market pretty much cornered on landfill gas engines. So the question then becomes, if you're an owner of these kinds of projects, what sets you apart? How can you be more competitive? How can you be profitable maybe when some of your competitors are struggling? We really strongly believe that the answer to that question is in the people. Every time that the people touch one of these engines, they have an opportunity to add value in the way that we perform service, in the way that we perform repairs, the way that we approach preventative maintenance to try and prevent failures. How do we maintain and improve availability and production? Those are all things that can be affected and impacted by the employees. And so we really see the employees as kind of the center of the hub here of this project, that the work that they do really determines our success, or are we just like everyone else? And so we really do try to seek out exceptionally skilled people, and then we try to treat them very well so that we have an experienced and a team that's in place and that stays in place. We like the stability that brings. So if you look at our history here, our turnover rate is very low. People that come to work here tend to stay, and we're very proud of that. We think that that's an achievement in the marketplace today. Having long-tenured employees is becoming a rarity, and we really do like the fact that we have long-tenured employees, and we're very proud of that. And we also find it to be critical for our success, so it's very important. The last bullet point here is to do everything that we do in a safe and environmentally responsible way. There has been rules here, whether working around electricity or rotating machinery, if we're cutting early gases, fire hazards, all kinds of hazards out there that we work around every day. And so we have a pretty strong hierarchy in place for identifying hazards and mitigating or eliminating hazards. We do that through a number of ways. I won't go through our entire safety program here, but we do a lot of training, a lot of work on PPE, a lot of different safety presentations. We do safety audits of all of our sites, so that we're going out and just going through and walking through the sites, talking with the people, and just making sure that everyone's working safely, and if anything is needed, we correct it. That's really the purpose of all of these audits, is to make us better, make us stronger. So we do that for safety. From the environmental perspective, as a renewable energy company, it's imperative that we have a clean safety record, a clean compliance record. We don't want to be here in the renewable market and be branded as a company that has a lot of compliance problems. So we go to great lengths to make sure that we are operating in compliance. And again, we do audits periodically just to make sure that all of the requirements in our general permits and air permits and SPCC plans and anything that we have an obligation to do, we want to make sure that we're doing it. And when we do those audits, if we find there to be any discrepancies or deficiencies, then we're going to work together to fix it. It's really, none of these things are an effort to catch people in anything. It's just really an effort to make sure we're ready and that we're doing everything properly. And the goal is really just to help everyone succeed. And so there's a great focus on compliance as well. Slide, Steve. So we've already talked a little bit about our organization and how we're put together and how we operate. You can see on this slide that we do a number of different things, a number of different technologies. As Steve's already mentioned, we have our gas engine fleet that we operate both on landfill gas, digester gas, and natural gas. We have biogas to renewable energy conversion systems. That's the plant down in Dallas, Texas, that Steve mentioned earlier, one of the largest in the nation. And we also have done a lot of solar projects here in the Northeast. We've got a number of them that we take care of. So we have some of our people that, in addition to working in the landfill gas part of our business, they also do double duty and take care of our solar projects. They're a little bit less maintenance, but they do require attention from time to time. So we have people that have been trained in that. And then we also have a little bit of wind in our mix as well. And so we've had people that have attended the GE wind turbine training school, and we do a lot of our own wind turbine maintenance and repairs. And we also have people that are qualified to perform high rescue training when we work up power in the wind turbines as well. So as I mentioned earlier, we have a very competent staff here in the back office that helps support operations through all of the administrative duties that they take care of every day, an important part of our team. And then we have also at times we're developing projects or constructing projects, and so some of our people will also perform duties in a project management role or a development role or something like that. And then finally, we have our management team working with all of our employees to make sure that the goals are being met. And really that means having the right people in place, making sure they have the resources that they need to do the job, making sure everyone understands the expectations and the goals, and that when problems arise or we're falling short, that we work together to try and find solutions. And so our management team works really closely with our operations people in the field. Excuse me. I visit the sites regularly, as does Steve, and we have great relationships with our people, and they know that we're here to help them succeed and that we're all in this together. Slide, Steve. Thank you.
Take myself off of mute, that would help. Hello. Again, I'm Janet, and I just realized we're talking about I'm in Florida too, so we're neighbors. Maybe one day we'll get to meet also. So I'm going to go over with you a little bit of our benefit package on a high level. We partner with ADP Total Source for our payroll, and we're on a bi-weekly payroll schedule. ADP is also who we work with on our benefits as far as health insurance and 401k and HSA and all of that, and everything is housed on the ADP site. So you'll have a user account if you have ADP now, so you should be familiar with a lot of this stuff. We currently use Aetna as our medical insurance carrier, and rather than having one or two plans, we often sit down during open enrollment and look at all of the benefit options that we have available to us, and it's hard to decide what's best for everybody. Everyone has different goals and different needs with their medical insurance, so we actually have 4 different plans that you can choose from. One of them happened to be a high deductible plan, so then with that high deductible plan we offer an HSA. So we have an FSA and an HSA, and that is through, the carrier is Optum Bank. Our life insurance, short-term disability, long-term disability, have a pretty nice package there. That is through the vendor, or carrier, I should say, MetLife. Our 401k is similar to yours. EPP Service Company offers a retirement savings through Voya, and it covers up to 4% match for up to 5% of employee contributions. And I failed to mention this before, but there's obviously transfer options forms to fill out through ADP, and we can transfer over any previous 401k accounts into a new account. We offer dental insurance, which is also through Aetna. There's a DMO and a PPO plan, which means the PPO plan is just your basic dental insurance that sometimes only covers 60% for basic services. If you choose a dentist in the DMO network, then it's a higher coverage, so it's 100% for preventative, 100% for basic. You have to choose somebody in that network. But you can choose the PPO plan, which is decent dental insurance also. Our vision insurance is through VSP, which is a typical vision insurance, which is more like discount plans. Works out pretty nice. I mentioned I just got glasses for myself, and it's pretty nice, the discounts that are offered for that. We go through ADP for our performance reviews, which I'm told you do as well, so you're familiar with the performance dashboard. We do performance evaluations every 6 months, so we do our 6-month evaluations and then the year-end evaluations, where everyone is given a rating, and then we use that to determine your bonus that we pay out, our yearly bonus. Tom mentioned earlier about our safety coordinator and how he makes sure that everybody has the proper PPE. I will actually monitor the boot and glasses allowance for you. Everyone is given an allowance of $100 a year for boots. You can roll it over to the next year if you don't use it, and then you have $200 the next year. Same thing with your safety glasses. It's a $150 allowance. You can roll it over and have $300 for the next year. Our PTO policy, the last thing that I wanted to talk about, and that is we have a policy right now for 1 year, 2 year, and then 3 years of service. And we do recognize that it's hard to take PTO time sometimes, although we do encourage it. Everybody needs some time off, especially down here in Florida. Sorry, not rubbing it in, guys, up north. But it is encouraged to take your PTO time. But if you are unable to take that time, we offer a payout of 40 hours at the end of the year. And then you can also roll over 40 hours into the next year. So maybe next year you're able to use some more PTO time. So there's up to 80 hours that you won't lose. You'll either get paid out for it, or you can roll it over to the next year. So that's something nice that we have in our PTO policy. And all these policies are listed in our employee handbook, which is also housed on the ADP site. And on first couple days of employment, we ask that you go out there and acknowledge the employee handbook so that you understand what all the different policies that we have for the company. And before I end here, I just wanted to say that during the onboarding process, once offers are made and the onboarding process happens, I'll be the one that would work with you on background checks, drug screening. We'll get you all set up in payroll with your direct deposit, get your benefits set up, and I'm not going to leave you alone, not going to abandon you. I know it's a difficult time, it's overwhelming. On day one, the first week of employment, you have so much that you have to think about. So I do spend a lot of personal time with the new hires to make sure that you understand everything, and if there's ever anything that you need and any help that you need, I'm here for you.
All right. Thank you, Janet.
You're welcome.
This slide just shows, again, we're looking forward to getting to know you. And this slide shows the combined companies in the lighter green, obviously the Florida locations where you are today, and Sacramento and Utah and Virginia and Carolina, and then Michigan also, plus the New Jersey location, combined with the EPP projects. And as we said together, it's an exciting combination and gives us a lot more latitude to continue to look at growing and expanding this company, which makes for great opportunities for all of us. And total company-wide will be 47 projects in total, and hoping to continue to grow that. And more importantly, though, hoping to meet each of you as we go through this process. Again, we will be getting out, hopefully, to your plant again sometime in the near term as we go through this process to see you face-to-face, get to know you a little bit better, and vice versa. And again, I would just encourage you, Tom, we'll go on the next page here. If you have questions as you follow up on this and go through it, please let us know. And again, Rick Covell is supporting this 100% from the ARIA side too, so if there's any questions you want to pass through him to us, I encourage you to do that also. But looking forward to that. So I'll pass it back to Tom and the process.
Okay, so today obviously is our introduction. This is our opportunity to share with you a little bit about our company and how we're structured and what you can expect going forward. The next step will be to set up individual employee meetings. So because of the restrictions placed on us by COVID, we'll be doing those remotely via Zoom as we are here today, but they'll be individual. So Steve and I and Janet will be meeting with each of you individually on a Zoom call to give us the opportunity to learn a little bit more about you and your experience and what you bring to the organization. So we're really excited to have that opportunity. So that's the next step. In the meantime, we will be continuing to work on the transition process, everything to do with benefits and compensation and all of that. We've been working on here now for quite some time, and we're continuing to work on, which means that we might not always have the answers for you when you ask the questions. But if you do ask them, I can assure you that we will get back with an answer at some point as soon as we're able to do so. but some of the things just haven't quite been worked out yet, and we are working on those, so we appreciate your patience with those items. Finally, you'll be presented with an employment offer letter following the employee interviews, and that offer letter will contain the details about compensation and a lot of details about our benefits program and so on. And so, provided you accept our offer and sign that, then on the day that this deal officially closes, you would become official EPP Service Company employees. And as Janet said before, she's working diligently on this process, and Steve and I and Jerry are as well, along with some others here, to make sure that the transition goes as smoothly and as seamlessly as possible. But again, we appreciate your patience, and we thank you in advance for that. But we think it's going to be a fairly smooth transition due to the nature that we have so many similarities in how we operate. Really don't anticipate there being a lot of really drastic changes being made. So we look forward to that being a smooth transition. I will just say before I close here, again, something I alluded to a little bit earlier, and that is the fact that a number of us here have gone through the exact process you're going through right now, and so we do understand some of the anxiety and concern and so on, uncertainty that you may have about this process. And I just want to encourage you, with our experience when we joined EPP, that it was a very good move for us, and we left a very good company as well. So we were pleased with the outcome, and we really are confident that you'll be pleased with it as well. And so I just want to encourage you with that as you're kind of navigating through these times with us. On this slide, you'll see that there's an email address that you can address your questions to, questions@eppservice.com, and Janet and Steve and I will be monitoring that inbox, and as we see questions, we will be responding. Hopefully we can respond with answers, but if we don't have answers, we will let you know that, and we'll let you know when you might expect to hear an answer. But as information becomes available, we'll certainly be sharing it with everyone. And I believe that's all that I have, so thank you for your time.
All right. Thanks, Tom. One thing I'll mention is our best estimate. We're still going through some approvals on the federal level that just are a process you have to go through for closing this transaction and the acquisition. And our best estimate is somewhere between May 1st and June 1st is probably my best guess based on what I know today about when this should all happen. As we get more information about exact timing, we'll make sure you all know, but that's the best estimate based on where we are today here in March, just to let you know that. So that was it. Appreciate all your time. I know everybody's busy. Appreciate you giving us some time in your schedules, and again, looking forward to getting to know each one of you, and we'll be in touch in the near term here to get something set up with you for these one-on-one meetings. So everybody have a great day, have a great Wednesday afternoon, and appreciate your time. So thanks, everyone.
Thank you all.
Everyone.
Thank you.